Welcome to the Capitalist Sage podcast. We're here to bring you advice and tips from seasoned pros and experts to help you improve your business. I'm Karl Barham with Transworld Business Advisors, and my co-host is Rico Figliolini with Mighty Rockets Digital Marketing and the publisher of the Petrie Corner magazine. Hey, Rico, how are you doing?
Good, Karl. How are you?
I'm doing well. Well, I am excited. This is one of my favorite times of years, film festival time. And today we are going to have a great discussion with Sari Earl, the vice president of the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival Board. And we're going to talk about some of the exciting things that's coming this year to Atlanta and the film festival. So I look forward to having that chat.
Good to have you
Thanks
on.
for having me, Karl. Thanks, Rico. I really appreciate you having me. You have a great show, and I'm glad to be here.
Sure.
Awesome. Why don't we introduce our sponsor before we get into our conversation with Sari today?
Sure. Our sponsor is Hargrave Fiber. They've been a sponsor of both Petrie Corners magazine and for the family podcast that we do. And this year they introduced the Hargrave Economic Stimulus Plan. Just like the federal government has one, Hargrave has one. They're an internet cable company that provides fiber optic, fast internet connection, and business solutions for not only small businesses, but enterprise-sized businesses. So the economic stimulus plan, real simple. It's 1 year free of business internet and phone service for those that qualify. So check them out. They're at hargrave.com/business/economic-stimulus. And find that website, check them, look at what they're doing. They're here in Petrie Corners. They're all over the Southeast. They're not like the cable guy. They're really committed to the communities that they're in. So check them out, Hargrave Fiber.
There isn't a business today that should not have great internet speed, making sure that their fiber optics is working and they're able to communicate, whether they're working from home or they want to keep that speed up at their place of work. So I'm really grateful to Hargrave for fiber for all they're doing in the community and helping businesses with this great stimulus package.
Absolutely.
Good.
So
Well,
I just also want to say one other thing. We are a sponsor of the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival with the Petrie Corners magazine, the latest issue that came out. So I just want to let everyone know that. And I'll tell them how great the website is when we get to it. But it's a great film festival. So I'm excited to have Sari on.
Well, today's guest, Sari Earl, is the vice president of the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival Board. And for years, they've been bringing great films to the Metro Atlanta and beyond community. And today we get to talk about this year's film festival, some of the interesting things they're doing, and even get to explore how we're doing this in this pandemic environment, this socially distant environment. Lots of great options for you to get out and see some films. So we'll like to welcome Sari to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, appreciate it. Why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself. What do you do when you're not enjoying great films? And tell us how you made it to Atlanta.
Originally from Brooklyn, just like Rico, and moved down here to attend Emory Law School. Stayed and got my master's at Laws and Taxation, and then I worked at Delta as in-house counsel. I worked for another trade association, and ultimately turned to writing. And I've been a professional writer ever since. I've published about 10 books, some fiction, some nonfiction. I love to try new ways of writing. I've written a screenplay, and I got involved with the festival a number of years ago, mostly through the community building. The American Jewish Committee created the film festival originally, and they have a Black Jewish Dialogue, a Baptist Jewish Coalition. They have just amazing events and programming, but it's really about the interconnecting of our communities. And so the film festival was a program that was so successful at bringing people together that we kind of outgrew our founder and partner, American Jewish Committee, and we became our own nonprofit. And once we did that, like the partnership with American Jewish Committee is so strong. And it's a huge balance because yes, we're a film festival, but we are focused on our community and our wider community. We converse over Jewish films, but the topics are wide ranging, and a large percentage of our audience is not Jewish, and we love that. So typically, on a typical year, non-COVID year, I go to the film festival with my friends. As an example, I have a friend who's an atheist, one who's a Hindu, and one who's Catholic. I am Jewish. We all go together, we pick certain films, and then afterwards we debrief about how we process them. And it's that kind of magical experience that we've done year after year. We love it. As soon as the program guide comes out, people start circling what they want. I get emails from people, I'm going to this one, I'm going to that one. But also the other thing that really gets me excited about it are the Q&As. We bring in these guests, and we get guests that you're really not going to hear somewhere else. One of our earliest guests that I remember so clearly was a film about a Mossad agent, an Israeli spy who went to go work in Egypt to try to uncover nuclear ambitions in Egypt. And he had a family in Israel, and then he had a family for his undercover work. And the film was about what happened to him. Great story. But at the end of the film, we got to talk to his son about the impact of his father being a Mossad spy on his life. It was fascinating, fascinating. So we get really good conversations going.
I think in particular, this past year, if there was a time where people needed to, one, be distracted from the day-to-day through film and through art, and at the same time bring people together through shared experiences and seeing artists' stories and visions and seeing how it's perceived. It's been this year, and I think I think many people I talk to have missed films on a mass scale. And especially the independent ones that are story-driven, plot-driven, performance-driven stories. We all love the Marvel, big, fantastic, but those quieter, that's where a lot of people learn about other cultures. And I think the work that you're doing and the film festival does to bring that together is amazing. So I'm curious, do you have a favorite film that you've seen over the past few years that brought a different insight to something that you may not have? The film fundamentally changed the way you perceive a person, a people, a culture, or something of significance.
Absolutely. The first one that pops into my mind is why culture, why art? And I remember watching, it was a documentary about the Warsaw Ghetto during the Holocaust and how people were starving in the streets, people were suffering such indignities by the Nazis. And during that time, they chose to put on theater productions. And I'm thinking, this is the worst of times, you're in the worst of places, who's thinking about putting on a show? And something clicked. What was happening is they wanted to keep their sense of joy and play and culture. And so they put on Yiddish theater in the middle of a Holocaust. And for me, I have always been drawn to the mission of the film festival, which is the bridge building, bringing people together, digging into a topic, and then unpacking it together with a guest speaker. To me, that's really exciting. But it's the first time where I really think, art is more than art. Art is human, and it's a human connection. And it really spoke to me. It was great.
Absolutely. I remember watching a film some years ago, and I think it was about Indian culture, this particular one. Have you heard of the ones that follow water, I think earth, fire? I remember watching, they're just great films, and they're based on books, great film. but it gave you an insight into a culture that you didn't see every day. But I remember it made me reach out to people and want to get to know them and their culture and experience more of that. And I think the film festivals like this that brings those types of elements together is going to be the way that a lot of young people are going to really get to learn about people that are different from them or grew up differently from them, which might make them curious to go meet more people and get to understand more people, which is a lot of what we could probably use now after the past year. People got disconnected, socially distanced, and how do we start bringing them back together?
No, it's interesting. Go ahead.
Sorry, Rico. It is really interesting. I mean, the film festival has a lot of films that are international. We have films from Israel, I have the list here, but it's a huge list. We usually have German films, a lot of German films, Spanish films, Japanese films. So we've had the directors come in. It's been really exciting. But what I like about it is that I would not otherwise watch a foreign film, just not my cup of tea. And here, through the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival, it's been curated for me, that I know it's good. I know it's interesting. I know it's something where I'm going to learn something about another culture, and I love it. So during the film festival, I'm watching international films, and you're right, Karl, it makes me feel more connected and understand these other countries and the people living in them so much better. And I don't know that I would do that otherwise.
You know what's more about that too is that because it's other countries, and people think Judaism or Jewish people are Israel or the United States, and they're not understanding there are Egyptians that are Jewish, there are Brazilians that are Jewish, there are Japanese that are Jewish, and that culture of Judaism mixed in with the other culture that they grew up in or country they grew up in, right? Just makes it so much different. It adds so much to that fabric of what's going on in their life. Because they might be Japanese, but they're also celebrating Judaism in that country, right? That's
interesting point. There's a film this year in the film festival, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to try to see if I can find the page in this beautiful program guide that we love. It's our Bible for the festival. It's called They Ain't Ready for Me. And it is about an African-American rabbinic student,
right,
who decides to help save the people of Chicago's South Side. I mean, it looked so exciting. Mm-hmm. And the fact, that's something else that's been really interesting, is learning more about not everybody's just one thing, one color, one culture, one country. We're all, a mix of everything, and to explore all the different corners of how different people can intersect those different identities is really fun, and opens us up.
I noticed how you circled within that directory of your movie. I've done the same thing, but then I've gone to the website, which, by the way, I got to give you props for. That website is phenomenal. Okay, it's easy. You can register for the movies. You register yourself. You register for the movies you want to see. You can go back and check the times and stuff. And as you're looking at the videos, and actually you can look at trailers on the site too, or description. It's rare that you see a website work so well to be able to keep you informed in the ease of use, so it's intuitive. You don't see that even on corporate websites that probably spend a lot of money. So on a nonprofit site, I'm just totally impressed. So I just got to tell you that.
Thank you. I have to give kudos to the staff. Kenny Blank is a phenomenal leader. The staff is amazing. They've worked so hard on the ease of use. And I was also impressed, everything's new this year. So going virtual, we're on Apple TV, we're on Roku. You can find us. All of our Q&As are going to be posted on YouTube. So you don't even have to buy tickets to the film, and yet you can access those amazing question and answers where we have these phenomenal people talking about their films and their journeys. And we're really trying to make it as accessible as possible. And I got to tell you, the staff really has outdone themselves.
And as a former film production major when I was in school, And I used to publish a fanzine back in Brooklyn, 4 movies. I went to the Star Wars premiere and sat next to Rex Reed, who was wondering who these kids were. I was with my siblings reviewing the movie for the fanzine, just to be able to see the Q&A part and understand how that movie was made, where people think, oh, that's easy, or they have a predetermined way that it was done or something, and you realize, wow, that was an accident. That happened on set. That was just improv when it looked like it was organic or something. Those are the sweet spots of seeing how a movie's made.
Today, they have all those extras on films. If you go on Netflix, you'll be able to see extra, director's cut, director's comments, and so on. Well, 20 years ago, they didn't have those things. And if you went to a film festival, you get to hear some of those insights, those questions. Was that luck or was that planned? And how did they think through making the film? Which I'm pretty sure that those folks ended up being this generation of filmmakers. And so for young kids out there right now and their families, if they enjoy film, going on that website and I think circle the films that you want to take a look at and sign up, get tickets, and enjoy it with your family. Make it a family experience and listen to the Q&A and then have that discussion with your family about what you interpreted from the film, whether it's the technical, how it was made, or maybe it was the story of the plot or questions. That's a great COVID socially distant activity to do with the family that, in years past, you may not have been able to do as easily if you had to go out. But I got a couple of kind of
Actually,
questions.
Karl, before we leave this topic, it's a really good point. The things that are made easier by going virtual, in the past, you had to be in your seat for the 7:00 showing and then wait afterwards for the setup to have the guests. This year, it's seamless and you have a window. So the film festival is February 17th to February 28th. And during that time period, tickets are on sale now at AJFF.org, which is, thank you for complimenting our website. That was great. But you have a window now. So you don't have to watch it at a certain time at night. You might be a morning person. You might want to watch it while you're working out. You might want to watch it, with other people, as you were saying, Karl. So there's a window within which you can now screen it. And that really opens it up. And then the Q&As will be there for you.
And not only that, you can watch more than what you may have done before. So last year, before COVID, maybe you got to 3 of these movies. Maybe you did the midnight show, which I'm going to watch that midnight horror movie, right? The Vigil.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool. I'm going to watch that at midnight because that's the time to watch it. But this time I can watch a half a dozen or a dozen if I want. I mean, it's so different than before. It's probably opening it up to a wider audience than could otherwise have made the festival.
And that was actually where I was going to ask of the things that have changed because of COVID. What are some of the things that just, maybe might have surprised the team and or blessings that, things that you'd like to figure out how to incorporate and keep around even beyond this period that everyone's socially distanced?
It's a great question. So when everything first hit, the real conundrum was, do we hibernate or do we innovate? And we went with innovate. So we spent a lot of time searching web platforms, figuring out what a virtual film festival would look like, going to drive-ins, which was really fun. We got to test different drive-ins. And for the first time ever, we're having drive-ins at the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival. They're going to be at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the Home Depot backyard. And we're going to have 3 films, Shiva Baby, Spaceballs. We always bring back some great films that we love, and Little Shop of Horrors. And we're having food trucks. We're having a donut truck. We're having giveaway bags. I mean, we're trying to really bring the festival and the festivity into this experience. So that's definitely something different that I really had fun with. But there's something else that happened that we realized during COVID. First, we have hundreds of volunteers, and they really wanted us to stay on track. They wanted us to keep our schedule. They wanted to keep working in the film evaluation and get the films curated for this upcoming festival. And doing all of our meetings on Zoom, we not only became more accessible to new volunteers who otherwise couldn't have gotten into our building. I never want to lose that voice at the table, someone who maybe had an accessibility issue or some kind of an issue that made it so that they could not be there in person. Now they can participate. I never want to lose those voices, those people who are fresh to the table and let us see things from a different point of view. We've had a number of new volunteers come on who otherwise never could have been able to attend and participate, and I don't want that to ever go away. It's been phenomenal. The other thing that we did is we took our entire collection of every film that we've shown at the film festivals in years past, and we uploaded it onto a platform on the internet. It's at AJFF.recommends, AJFF.org recommends. Brand new website. I'm particularly excited for the educational pieces. We have a lot of school partners, great schools that are exposing their students to, like you said, Karl, these different viewpoints, different countries, different cultures, and then want to unpack it. And so we can recommend films to them that they can get off the platform and help them unpack and create a way to connect these students to the story on the screen. And then the final thing, which I'm so excited about, is we created a filmmaker fund to help filmmakers struggling, to help them get their films to audiences. And we have our first film ever that has benefited from the Filmmaker Fund, and it's premiering, its world premiere is at the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival. And it's about the city of Atlanta. It's called The City Too Busy to Hate. It's a great film, and it's produced by 3 local filmmakers who are phenomenal people. And the film shows you things you would not have otherwise seen. I got to see a few snippets of it, and it was showing Holocaust survivors being brought together during COVID, spatially distanced, to listen to a concert. You know, the things people did to really open their hearts and try to find ways for other people to be connected, because Atlanta's pretty awesome. You know, Greater Atlanta is a pretty unique place. And this film explores different pockets of the community and how they tackled with COVID, but also how they came together under COVID. Very exciting. The Filmmaker Fund's going to keep going. I love it.
We always talk about innovating when something external challenge is brought in. The organizations that thrive are the ones that figure out how to innovate. And some of the best, things that we see today comes out of, hardship, where people had to figure out a way. And I think you might have missed, you solved one other really important challenge that people have in enjoying film festivals. You solved the babysitting challenge. Now today, instead of having to get that babysitter and go out there and see a film, you could put the kids to bed. You could put the kids in front of Disney. You can still enjoy the film in so many different ways that's going to be important. You mentioned volunteers, hundreds of volunteers. Why don't you give a little insight on the process to get the films selected and featured into the festival each year?
So I think this year we had about 500 films submitted. You can go on our website if you want to submit a film, and then it goes to the Film Evaluation Committee. And I have served on the Film Evaluation Committee, and I did it one term, and I was done, because you have to see a lot of really bad films to get to the good ones. And I want my film experience to be curated. That's why I like the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival. These hundreds of volunteers having thousands and thousands of reviews that they post online, and then they discuss them. They come together and they discuss the films and are they good enough as far as production value? Is it a relevant story? Is it timely? Is it Jewish? That question comes up a lot. And then they curate those films and they propose a list of films that they recommend for the festival. And then that's what we weed through to get you the best of the best. So you don't have to be digging through a bunch of different platforms. It's curated for you.
Then I'm curious, the other part is the cost now. So the traditional model where you buy a ticket and you show up and so on. How is the cost of the film, and what are the options for people to enjoy these films this year?
Well, the great thing about the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival this year is that when you buy a ticket, it's for whoever is in your house. So the ticket could be for 5 people, it could be for 10 people. It's whoever's in your pod can get it. You get a code, and the code gives you entrance into the film. Excuse me. The drive-in, you pay per car. And once you pay per car, you can have as many people in your car as you want, but you can show up for that screening. So the prices are actually pretty good. And then the Q&As are free. Anyone can watch a Q&A, even if they haven't seen the film.
Let me ask you something on the drive-in part. If someone comes in with a pickup truck and lays it down the back and puts the all the blankets down, is that good?
Don't make me laugh. You're making me laugh.
I know.
That's good. I think we said any vehicle.
Okay.
Any vehicle.
I can see school buses rolling in. People in school buses.
Hey, there is a donut truck. There is a donut truck coming with hot cocoa. So school bus would be very appropriate. But yeah, so we tried to make it accessible, but we're also a nonprofit. I mean, we're not making a profit off this. We're providing a service. We're part of our community. And that's the thing that was amazing about this year. People wanted to support us. They said, we don't want you to just survive. We want you to thrive. And it's been really beautiful to see how many supporters came up and said, you're important to our experience of living in Atlanta. You're important to our experience of being in Atlanta, Jewish and non-Jewish. And it's been really exciting and heartwarming, I guess is the best word, heartwarming, to have so many sponsors and supporters really care about us, and volunteers who are willing to give their time. I mean, we're a volunteer nonprofit, and we have some of the most talented and amazing people coming to help us. We're very, very lucky, and we really appreciate it.
We want to help continue that. So if people are out there watching this and they want to get involved, whether it's through sponsorship and donations, whether it's through volunteering their time, what are the ways that people could get involved? How do they reach the organization?
Well, we are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. AJFF Atlanta is our hashtag, AJFF Atlanta, so Atlanta Jewish Films. But more importantly, I would go to the website. We have one of our best committees. It's called Community Engagement, and it brings a cross-section of people, different religions, different races, different identities, different socioeconomic backgrounds, and we come together to talk movies and how to bring people to films. I love that committee. Highly recommend it. We have a guest programming committee also that's really fun. A lot of celebrities, because we pick who gets to introduce films, who gets to do the Q&As. So I would go to our website and check it out. Please volunteer, ajff.org.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, I mean, we could talk about films forever. Are there any that you have on your watch list for folks that are new you might suggest that they take a look at? Give me 1 or 2 recommendations that I could put on.
Okay. All right. So we have some phenomenal guests. If you guys seen the show Unorthodox on Netflix,
Yes.
the actress who starred in it is brilliant. And we have got her attending our festival and speaking to us. She's starring in a film called Asia. And it's ASIA. I'll see if I can find it. But it's a phenomenal film about a woman and her daughter and their relationship, which can be really challenging. Oh, so sorry. The other films I'm really excited about, Howie Mandel is our closing night. Mm-hmm. He is coming to our festival via Zoom. We're interviewing him, and he's great, funny, fun, fantastic. Who else is fun? Excuse me. There are so many. I mean, the one I mentioned to you earlier, they ain't ready for me. Can't wait to see this. Very excited. About an African American.
The horror film again?
Okay, the horror movie is called The Vigil.
Yeah.
And The Vigil is having a midnight showing. And then, of course, we have a window to watch it afterwards if midnight is not your cup of tea. And I heard it's phenomenal. In Judaism, when someone passes away, there's a tradition to have someone sit with the body. And the film takes that experience and creates a horror film out of it. And I heard it was fantastic. We have a film critic who's on our who chairs our film evaluation committee. He said this film was fantastic. And Karl, to your point about the children and the babysitter problem, there's a film, I don't know if you can see it. It's called The Crossing. And it's about children who have to cross over a wilderness during World War II in Norway. And it's great film. So there are films that are child friendly, including the drive-ins. I mean, the drive-ins are a great opportunity to get out with your kids in a safe space.
Oh yeah,
you know,
Spaceballs is classic.
Spaceballs is a classic. I mean, it's the best. And, you know, our kids haven't seen these movies. Our kids haven't seen Little Shop of Horrors. And it's an event and you're out. And I've been to the Home Depot backyard at Mercedes-Benz Theater. It's phenomenal. It's a great space. It's open. I felt really safe when I was there. I'm excited for the food trucks. We're doing giveaways. We're making it festive because we want people to enjoy this and have some fun.
I think it would go for the food trucks too. You know, do you have any kosher food? A couple of knishes. I mean, it's just like I'm just missing a few things from New York.
Oh yeah, I wish, but there's no knish, but there are donuts. Okay. That's another thing that we've added for the festival this year. We have home delivery of some gourmet meals with your movies. So when you order your tickets, it'll pop up and say, "Would you like a meal delivered to your house?"
Fabulous.
If you buy opening night tickets, this is an insider tip. If you buy tickets for opening night, you will get a free festival in a box delivered to your home. And inside the box are treats. We want to support our restaurant partners who've been great to us for so many years. I mean, we really want to make this fun and festive. So opening night festival in a box, drive-in, we're going to have some giveaways and some swag and lots of food and fun. And we're really trying to make this an event. And so far, the audience is clamoring for this. We've had an amazing response from our sponsors, amazing response from our audience saying, we want the show to go on. The show must go on. So AJFF this year is reinvented, reimagined, but we'll be here February 17th till 28th, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So join us, please.
Will do. I want to thank you so much for sharing about the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival and all the ways that you bring people together through film and continuing the tradition and innovating it in a lot of different ways. Sari, you have been excellent and a great ambassador for the program that's coming up. And again, why don't you tell us the dates of the film festival?
Sure. It starts February 17th. Tickets are on sale now at our website, ajff.org. We are a nonprofit. And our closing night is February 28th. The opening night film, Kiss Me Kosher, has gotten rave reviews, and we picked a comedy. We said we must start with a comedy this year. We need to lighten up. And then we end with a comedian, with Howie Mandel. And he's coming in as a guest for the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival. So it's going to be great.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much, Sari Earl, Vice President of the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival Board. And, you know, this year we need laughs, we need distractions, we need to get out. And the film festival is giving us all of that this year for folks to be able to enjoy. And so I definitely want to give two notes that I made to myself. This sounds like the ideal Valentine's gift for folks. And the beauty of this is you could send this Valentine across the country. People can enjoy it anywhere. So just through the realities of being virtual, people can enjoy this from anywhere in the country, really. So really great idea for a gift. So thank you so much for sharing everything you have today.
Thanks for having me. Some of the films, just so you know, are geo-blocked. So they're only available in Georgia. A lot of the films are available anywhere in the United States of America. So you just have to go to the website and check it out. But there are plenty of films. And like I said, they've been curated. Like someone else, hundreds of times, have viewed this to make sure it was good and worth my time. So it's worth checking out.
Oh, fabulous. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much. Well, want to say thank everyone, the sponsor, Hargrave Fiber, for continuing to support the Capitalist Age and the other family of podcasts that we have. I'm Karl Barham with Transworld Business Advisors of Atlanta Peachtree. Our business advisors are available to consult on your business, whether you're looking to improve it or grow it, whether you're looking to exit your business. You can contact myself or any one of our advisors to help you, guide you through that path. Now's a great time. The SBA is offering great rates and programs for people acquiring businesses. So if you want to be your own boss, so you can watch more film at the time that you want, give us a call and we could help you find the right business that fits what you're doing. Rico, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've got coming up?
Sure. We just got our latest issue out of Peachtree Corners Magazine. I showed you guys that before. Faith in Sports is the cover story. Lots of stuff in here. A lot of good stories. The roller hockey, Ogden Rink, and the association, along with stories about from education to summer camp to the new redevelopment authority that the city has started to Aging Well resource guide. So there's a bunch of good things in here. You can find all of it almost online now at livinginpeachtreecorners.com. There's an article in here, a short piece on the film festival as well. And we're going to be doing more of these types of stories coming out over the next few weeks. If you want to find out a little bit more beyond what I do at mightyrockets.com, that's content marketing, social media, and creative work, creative services. Check that out. If you need me, you can find me on LinkedIn, Rico Figliolini. If you can't spell that, just go to the website and you'll see it. You can find me almost anywhere. So yeah, and it's amazing that the three of us, let's put us back on here, three of us all from Brooklyn or New York.
Brooklyn, yep. Absolutely. Brooklyn spreads out all over the country, right? They say what, 30-something% of folks in the United States came through Brooklyn. So here we are, reunited in Georgia.
Right. Good to have you on, Sari. Oh, well, hold on. Can't hear you for some reason.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun talking with you guys. It was great. Really appreciate you hosting us at the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Well, everyone, go get your tickets. February 17th through 28th. Check out the website. Get those tickets. Send them out as gifts. And support the local community and just help bring people together. This is the Capitalist Age podcast. Again, bringing you great guests from the community here in all aspects of business, whether it's for-profit or nonprofit. We do not discriminate. We want to talk to everyone and share what people are doing to help innovate and bring value to the community. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Sari, for all you're doing for the community.
Take care, guys.